Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and today we're looking at the price of Bitcoin currently at $97,000, and Bitcoin has hit some support zones that we've been looking for. We were looking at this on yesterday's live stream. We said that Bitcoin could come down to 96K, but it could also come down to this $94,000 area that we were looking at, which is the 0.32 retracement. If you draw a Fibonacci from 126K down to the 74K area that Bitcoin was at back here in April, it gives you these numbers to look out for here on the Fibonacci. And 94K was an area that we were looking for, but I mean, you can also just look at the price action on the charts here, and you'll see that, you know, around I think around the end of April and beginning of May, we did see Bitcoin kind of trade sideways for a little bit before we got a pump up here in the beginning of May here. And these are the people that are kind of like saving us from, you know, going down further and faster here on Bitcoin. The people that bought here in the end of April, beginning of May, believe it or not, they're still in profit right now because Bitcoin's at 97K. They were buying Bitcoin at like 92, 93, 94, 95K, somewhere in this area. So this was an area that we were looking for as we were doing this little steep drop here on Bitcoin. This was an area that we were looking for over here to provide us some support. And I think we're getting some of that, a little bit of relief right now. We're getting a reaction off of 94K. I was looking at taking some longs in this area at like 96, 94K. I actually entered a long last night at 96K, which hit really pretty well because Bitcoin went down to like 95.9. So I didn't have to worry about my stop loss getting hit. I actually had a stop loss at like 95.5. So we hit 96, went down to like 95.9. And I was able to get in the trade, and I was trying to push to see if Bitcoin would bounce, you know, give us a nice little bounce last night to like 99K. But hold on a second. Yeah, we didn't actually go up to 99K last night. Let me get into the 15-minute chart so you guys can kind of see what I was doing last night here on my trades. So yeah, we hit that you know, last night at like probably while some of you guys were sleeping. We went down to like Bitcoin. What was it? Yeah, but we went down to like 95.9K. So I'm able to get in the long, but we didn't really do too much. Like the initial reaction was kind of good, but not really. And then I had to get stopped out in profit. You know, I moved my stop loss a little bit past break even to just above, you know, so I can make some profit. I made like, you know, some good money. But then I decided to put another long in because I was looking for that 94K area. I was able to actually get filled at 94,500 is what I put my entry in. And Bitcoin actually came down, at least on Coinbase Exchange, it came down to like 94,455. So once again, I was able to get that long entry without having to see too much red. And this happened while I was sleeping. You know, I put the long order in. I was like, you know what? I'll just put it in for 94,500, and I'll put the stop loss at 93,500 and see if I get filled. And sure enough, I did get filled this morning. I woke up this morning to being in green in the profits, and then I had my take profit at 97K because if you know, we look at the 5-minute time frame here. We have the 200 moving average is sitting at like 97,200, and you can see Bitcoin marched its way up to that red line there, and now we're kind of like chilling out near 97K. So that's where I put my take profit at. But while I was managing that trade, I actually brought the stop loss. This time I was like, I want to get paid a little bit more than what I did last night. So I put the stop loss a little bit further into profit. I actually put the stop loss once we came down to like 96K and kind of like touched this 50-day moving average. I put the stop loss at 96K. So like I was going to make money either way. Either this thing was going to break and I get stopped out in profit, or this thing was going to climb up and actually hit 97K. And sure enough, it hit 97K. So I'm pretty happy with, you know, the trades that I took this morning and last night, trying to buy that dip. And, you know, the reason why I was able to figure out, you know, 96K and 94K could be some good areas is because, you know, just looking at the charts here, you know, we have that Fibonacci at 94K, but also an indicator that you guys probably haven't been using, especially if you're new to this channel, but some of my people that have been watching this channel, they know about the VRVP indicator. This is a very powerful indicator that tells us the support zones that we should be looking for. And this VRVP indicator, this is the indicator off on the right side. This is the green and red indicator. You got green and red bars here. It shows you where people were buying and selling and how vigorously they were buying and selling at that level. And right now, you know, we have a high volume node that we're close to right now. And it shows that there's a lot of volume here at 94K, 95, 96K. So that's why I was like, all right, let me take a shot at 96K. If we don't hold 96K, then I'm just going to take another shot here at 94.5K. And that's literally what I did last night and this morning. And it worked out like a charm. Okay, so this VRVP indicator, very powerful indicator to use. If Bitcoin decides to come down any further than, you know, 94K, then there is a gap in the VRVP, and you won't get much support until you see Bitcoin get down to like 87, 88K is another high volume node if we lose 94K here, okay? And if we lose 87, 88K, there's an even bigger volume node here. This blue line, which is what we call the point of control. It's the highest volume node out of all these nodes here. This is the biggest one right here, and that one's sitting at 84K. And these are levels to be looking for if Bitcoin decides to go down there, okay? And this is gathering data going all the way back to like February of this year. Now, if I zoom out of the chart a little bit, I'm going to be able to get some more data going back to like June of 2024, and it changes the VRVP indicator a little bit here. And it's now showing that the point of control, this blue line, is at 96K, which is showing that all throughout this year and all throughout pretty much most of last year going to like June of 2024, the majority of people who were in Bitcoin, they bought Bitcoin at 96K. So 96K is a big level for us to look out for here, okay? Because a lot of people right now, they're at break even. Matter of fact, some of them are still in profit because if they bought at 96K, well, but guess what? Bitcoin's at 97K. They're still slightly in profit right now. So these people that bought Bitcoin like back here in December and November of last year at 96K, January, February of this year at 96K, and then also April and May of this year at 96K, these people are not going to click the sell button unless Bitcoin goes below 96K. And there's a lot of them out there, okay? There's a lot of people that bought Bitcoin at 96K, and this might be the level that we might actually get a bounce here for Bitcoin. Now, I titled the video, you know, will Bitcoin get a bounce this weekend, okay? The 96K area is a good area for us to bounce. You know, we dipped below to like 94K, you know, and that was like a Fibonacci level I was looking for. But I like to see Bitcoin stay at 96K and above. So that way these people don't start freaking out and panicking about Bitcoin going lower. Because if they start freaking out and panicking about Bitcoin going lower, then all hell's gonna break out, and we'll probably see that 88K area. Where some people were buying Bitcoin at 88K back here in March of earlier this year. And then, you know, if we go further than that, then yeah, maybe we might see 84K where a good majority of people bought Bitcoin at that area. And this is also where the value area low. It's signifying there's a lot of volume here at 84K where this white line's at. So VRVP indicator, you might want to add that to your indicators here. It's a very powerful indicator. I've done a separate YouTube video about the VRVP indicator, and it's also on TikTok. If I go on TikTok, for my TikTok guys, hopefully my videos will load up here. Sometimes TikTok be acting up here. Let me just click the refresh here. Okay, here we go. I have a video that I pinned here on my TikTok that explains the VRVP indicator. It's one of the more popular videos. It has like 1,700 views on there, and I go into like how to set up my VRVP indicator, which is the visual range volume profile indicator. I go into like how to set it up so it looks like the way that I got it on the charts. And then I get into how I actually use it and how I trade it. So that's on TikTok there, and it should also be on YouTube as well. If I go into my channel here, let me get into my YouTube channel here. If you go into videos here, you'll see the VRVP indicator video right over here. Okay, made it about 5 months ago. The visual range volume profile indicator. Okay, might want to check that out so you know how to use it, how to trade it, what to look out for. But anyways, let's get into it, because I think the next question on everybody's minds is like, is Bitcoin going to bounce this week? Are we done going down, or do we have to go down further? Well, I think the first answer to that question is, I mean, I think we might be done going down. Okay, but I have to look at the charts on the short time frames, you know, and I'm going to start with the high time frames as well. But let's look at the daily time frame right now. Let's look at the oscillators to figure out where Bitcoin might go next based on the oscillators here. Looking at the MACD, you can see selling pressure is pretty steep right now. But if we get some bids and buyers to show up here, then we might start seeing some pink candles showing up. And usually that pink shows that selling pressure is dying down, and you want to see some green candles showing up after that. Like you saw back here in the middle of October, where we had pink, 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 and then it went to green. You want to see that show up going into next week. Like we want to see pink, pink, pink instead of dark red here. And then we want to see some green candles showing up going into like Monday and Tuesday of next week. And then here on Market Cipher B, you know, we are near the oversold conditions here, the oversold horizontal bars here. We're waiting for a green buy dot to help signify that we are catching some bids here on the daily time frame, and we're also looking for the money flow to start curving back up and get into the green again, so we know money's going back into Bitcoin. Right now it's kind of shaky right now on the daily time frame. Okay, maybe on the smaller time frames. If I go into the smaller time frames, we might see something here. Let's get into like the 4-hour time frame, and then we'll do the 1-hour time frame after that. On the 4-hour time frame, you see a green buy dot showing up near the oversold bars. This is good to see. This means that there might be a low forming here on Bitcoin, and maybe we might see some positive price action to the upside. However, money flow is still trending down. It's still in the red here. It's not curving up like I want to see in order for us to see more money go into Bitcoin and higher prices here. So this is still, you know, to be, you know, it's to be announced if we're going to go to higher prices, at least on the 4-hour time frame. Now let's go on to the 1-hour time frame. There might be something better here on the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, you can see Market Cipher B. We had a green buy dot in the oversold conditions here, where the oversold green bars are at. And we also even has it spelled out here on this Market Cipher B indicator. It says bottom, so possibly a bottom could be in. The blue momentum wave is curving up, as well as the money flow is curving up. So on the 1-hour time frame, we're seeing something positive here. What I want to see is I want to see more money flow going into Bitcoin, where we start seeing some green like we saw back here yesterday. Yesterday morning. Okay, we want to see green on the 1-hour time frame on the money flow indicator here. And then let's look at the 15-minute time frame for the day traders out there. Obviously you see that we bottom out here. This says that this is bullish here. You got a little bull there on this. I love the emojis on this Market Cipher B. It's kind of cute and funny, but also useful at the same time. So this was saying that, hey, might be a good time to start buying around like 7 or 8 o'clock this morning, or 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern time this morning. And money flow came up vigorously, and also, But the momentum wave came up vigorously, and then money flow started curving back up and going into the green. So we have some green showing up. We want to stay in the green here and see more money going into Bitcoin and see this momentum wave get up high enough where hopefully we can get into overbought territory on the 15-minute time frame for Market Cipher B. But yeah, that's what I see on Market Cipher B. Let's see what I'm gonna move the oscillators here. Let's look at the RSI and see if there's any bullish divergence, because bullish divergence would also signify that we could be done going down on Bitcoin, at least for now. So let's take a look at the RSI here. So RSI here on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that we got as low early this morning at like 22.5, and then we are making higher lows here. So this is good to see. This is what you need to see money going into Bitcoin again. But you can see like we kind of have here on the 15-minute time frame higher lows here, okay? Because we actually seen the lowest low last night. I'm sorry, not last night. Yesterday afternoon at 1:45 Eastern time. We saw, you know, the RSI get as low as like 15.9, okay, which is the lowest low, and then we have the higher low here this morning at like 22 on the RSI, while price was going down, okay. Well, so price was going down, but we're making higher lows on the RSI. That is, for those who don't know, that is your bullish divergence, okay? Just regular, plain vanilla bullish divergence showing up here. It means that buyers are stepping in at these lower prices. Somebody's interested in buying Bitcoin at 96, 97K here, okay? Maybe someone wanted to get into Bitcoin below 100K, and they finally get the opportunity to do so right now. Now, what I want to see next is I want to see Bitcoin on this 50-minute time frame. I want to see it start climbing above these moving averages going forward here. The 50-day moving average could act as a resistance here, okay? This 50 moving average was acting as resistance yesterday and going into earlier this week here, okay? We lost the 50-day, the 50 moving average. We lost the 200 moving average, and every time we come up to, like, you know, the 200 moving average, which is the red line here, we definitely get rejected. When we come up to that 200 moving average one more time here, we get rejected again. And then, you know, it's been brutal the last couple of days, you know, earlier today and yesterday. But I want to see us get to that 50 moving average to signify that we can be somewhat hopeful here on getting a bounce. But I'm going to be skeptical about the bounce once we actually get up to this 200 moving average. This 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame is sitting at 100K. I think Bitcoin might have a tough time getting above 100K and staying there until it shows us that it can do it. There might be an initial reaction where we get rejected off 100K. So those of you who are waiting for 100K on Bitcoin, just know that that is a resistance area, at least on the 15-minute time frame. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame, see what the 1-hour time frame says with the moving averages here. The 1-hour time frame is showing that the 200 moving average is at 102,500, okay? And on the 1-hour time frame, what could act as a resistance as of now is this white line here. This is the 21 EMA on the 1-hour time frame. That's showing resistance at 97,500. I think we can push past that. If we can push past that, then we can start heading towards those other moving averages on the 1-hour time frame. But I think right now, for the day traders and swing traders, we're sticking to the 15-minute time frame. We're just trying to see if Bitcoin is going to be able to get up to those moving averages on the 15-minute time frame, where you got the 50 moving average at 97,800, the 100 moving average at 99,500, and the 200 moving average at $100,000. If you're day trading, swing trading, and you're in a long, you should be taking profit. You know, take profit target 1 is going to be that green line at 97,800. Take profit target 2 is going to be 99,500. Take profit target 3 is going to be $100,000. Okay, as you start to scale out of your long, and you should be taking partial profits as you're going up on your long if you're in a winning trade here. Okay, and also be moving those stop losses up as well if you're day trading this. Now let me get into the chat. I gave you a little spiel there about Bitcoin. Let me see what you guys have to say here on TikTok and YouTube. I see Steve Hickey's in the chat here. Good to see you, Steve. And if anybody else is in there, let us know. If you're in the chat, say hi. I'm ready to take some requests if you guys have some requests right now. I see Laureen is in TikTok liking the live. Thank you, Laureen. We got up to like 5,200 likes here. Thank you. Appreciate that, Lorraine. You definitely set the tone here, and TikTok loves it when you hit that like button, because then we can get more people to show up in the live stream here. Let's see. We got Arizona Man, he said Arizona Man wants to buy puts on the SPY. That might be a play to take. Now you're talking stock market talk, but we can talk about stocks if you want to talk about any particular stock here. And Arizona Man says, sell all stocks now. War with Venezuela imminent. Maybe. I know they've been doing a troop buildup, and they're bringing things over there to Venezuela. But I think what they're hoping for is the people of Venezuela to take out the leader of Venezuela. Rather than having American forces do that themselves, and I think what they're doing by bringing troops and supplies over to Puerto Rico and next to Venezuela is what they're showing is that the Venezuela people, if they want to do an uprising, I think America would come in and try to support them and prevent the government troops from hurting the civilians if they are going to do an uprising against that country and its leader. Anyway, let's see what else you guys saying. We're trying to stick to the stock market and crypto here. Megaton says hundreds of gamblers on here all got the answer on how to gamble. Okay, so Megaton thinks this is gambling. All right, not if you know how to set your stop losses in correctly, and then know what entries to be looking for. Laureen Hadley says check CoAI. Okay, we could take a look at CoAI. So I guess that's one of the first requests. Thank you for putting in the requests, Laureen. I haven't looked at CoAI in a while, but I look forward to looking at it for you. Maybe I might decide to get in on a trade if it's looking somewhat decent. And Brown Mockin has subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Yep, I'm on YouTube and TikTok if you want to subscribe to YouTube as well. And let's see what else. Oh, I think that's it for the chat. But I do got a few new messages here. At least I did see Shafi is in the chat as well. And Gold Stacker is asking me, do I think a bounce will happen tomorrow? I think it's possible, especially after the end of today. It seems like Wall Street likes to sell Bitcoin whenever they can, and they got a lot of it because they got more money to sell Bitcoin. They got more Bitcoin to sell if they want to. And I think after 4 p.m. Eastern time, like I've seen on a few other days earlier this week and last week, I think after Wall Street closes up shop, we might get a relief rally where we don't have to worry about Wall Street selling so much Bitcoin on us. So maybe there might be a relief rally this weekend. Also, during the weekend, retail traders, they get paid on Friday, and they can put some of their money to work in crypto if they want to. Brown Mockin wants to look at Jelly. Okay, so we'll take a look at Jelly. And let's see, do I have any requests? Oh, Demi wants to take a look at Pepe. All right, we'll take a look at Pepe as well. All right, so those are the requests I got. We'll take a look at CoAI, then Pepe, then Jelly. And if you guys have any more requests, just shoot them away. All right, let's get back in the daily chart here. And we're going to look at CoAI for Lorraine here. I have it on my watch list. Let's take a look at what CoAI is doing here. All right, so CoAI currently trading at 72 cents, down 5% today. And CoAI has had a really great run up during October where we saw it go up to like $20 and then it hit 19.97 again here on October 24th. But since then, it's been a brutal sell-off on CoAI. Some might even call it a rug pull. But, that's what happens with these altcoins, especially if they don't show any revenue or have any revenue to give us an idea as like what their value should be. CoAI is now trading at 71 cents. How much further could it go down? Well, this is where I like to pull up that handy dandy VRVP indicator, because this is going to show you where the high volume nodes are at and where the point of control is at. And if I turn this VRVP indicator on, this indicator off on the right, you can see that the highest volume node, that blue line, is at 37 cents. Somewhere like 36, 37 cents. If I can like zoom in there a little bit. But yeah, this is where the majority of people bought CoAI at. Okay. So CoAI is probably not going to get any support, because look at this. If you can't hold where you're at right now on CoAI, you're in like no man's land below like 80 cents here. We're kind of like in no man's land right now, being at 70 cents, because you had a little bit of volume here at 89 cents, and you had some more volume here at $1. You lost those levels already. If you're not able to stay at 71, 72 cents here, then don't be surprised if you see CoAI come down to like 50, 40, most likely 36, 37 cents here, where that point of control is sitting at. Okay, this point of control blue line shows me where the majority of people are buying at, and that's basically the people that bought CoAI here in September, right? End of September, before this thing just out of nowhere just blew up and launched on October 6th. When Bitcoin hit 126K, this thing then shot up like 500% that day. And that's when I think it got on most people's radars here. And day traders and investors were trying to buy CoAI, and this thing just kept being a winning trade, while at the time Bitcoin was dropping down from 126K. Okay, so yeah, the people that bought CoAI before most people knew about it, they bought it at like 36 cents, and that's where I think CoAI could come down to, because these people are still in profit. Matter of fact, they're actually still they doubled their money with CoAI being at 71 cents, because they were buying here at like 25, 30, 35 cents here. Okay, I think that's where CoAI could come down and actually get a bounce. Okay, so that's just looking at price action and VRVP. Let's get into trying to see what the oscillators are doing here on CoAI. Let's look at this MACD. On the MACD, you can see that selling pressure is dying off as the days go by. So CoAI is looking like it's trying to find its footing, but we just don't know. And you can't just rely on one indicator here, because this MACD could show that selling pressure is dying down, but then out of nowhere, selling pressure could start increasing on CoAI, and then you see more red candles here, and it's like, oh my god, I thought we were going to get a MACD flip. But sometimes nothing's guaranteed in trading and in the real world. You could see selling pressure start increasing again. But this is good to see that selling pressure is dying down, because the next thing you would see is actually green candles showing up here on CoAI, MACD on the daily time frame here. But even more important than that is we got to see what money flow is doing. Are people putting money into CoAI? And right now on the money flow on the daily time frame, it was brutal towards the beginning of November here, but money flow is curving up. This red's starting to go up. You want to see this red continue going up, and you want to see basically what you saw back here in October, where money flow is in the green on the daily time frame here. That's what you really want to see for CoAI on market cipher B. Now let's get into the 4-hour time frame, or even the 1-hour time frame, see what that's looking like. 4-hour time frame on CoAI, you got a green buy dot and a bottom signal earlier this morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time here. Could possibly be a good sign here. However, the money flow, we want to see this curve back up. It was curving back up like yesterday. I'm sorry, not even yesterday, 2 days ago, and on Wednesday. But look, it curved back up, and then it curved back down again. So that's no bueno. We want to see this thing curve back up, continue going up, and then we want to see some green show up here on market cipher B. So I'm still on the fence about getting the CoAI here. Okay, it still has a lot more proving to do. You can see here on the 4-hour time frame, the MACD selling pressure was dying down, but then look, it increased again. And then selling pressure could die down again, but you got to be on the lookout. Is it going to increase again? Okay, you just don't know. You just don't know. So I mean, you could try to buy CoAI near the lows of the day if you can, but this thing could just continue going down. into the right and more down on you until it gets to that 36 cent area, which I should probably mark that off on the chart here. 36 cents. In case I ever want to look at this again and take a shot at it. 36 cents. This is where we need to go down to, I think, for KOAI to get a significant bounce. But yeah, let's look at the RSI. Are we getting any bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame? Because if you get bullish divergence, then you know like buyers are starting to show up. And right now, at least here on Sunday, we saw a RSI of like 26.46, and then earlier today we saw 25.71. So no bullish divergence. You're still making lower lows on the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame. Not really anything good, except for I do see a double bottom on the RSI, which is, you know, a good thing to see here. But yeah, I just think that KOAI probably could still go down further on you. The 21 EMA on the 1-hour time frame has been acting as a bully, pushing you down. If you are able to get up above the 21 EMA and actually start using it as support, where it does something like this, where, you know, we can actually come up above the 21 EMA, come back down, make a higher low, bounce off the 21 EMA, and then go up to higher prices, then that could signify that there could be something special going on with KOAI. But that remains to be seen here. All right, so I gave you the in-depth analysis on KOAI. I still think I wouldn't go crazy on leverage trading it, and even spot bag trading it. You could buy it now at 71 cents, and it could drop down to 36 cents, and that's still a 50%, you know, drop in price. So are you willing to stomach through that, where you could lose half your money? I would wait until 30, 40, 50 cents. I would wait until like it gets to like 40 cents before I would try to spot bag or even leverage trade this thing. All right, let's take a look at Pepe now. Get into the daily time frame here on Pepe. Pepe, what are you doing here? Okay, so Pepe currently trading at we'll just call that 512, down 5.54% today. And looks like Pepe is just getting down to like the lows for the year. It hasn't been this low since like, well, it was this low around October 10th when Donald Trump gave the 100% tariff scare to China. And at least on Coinbase, we haven't seen Pepe this low. So like back here in March of 2025, Pepe was at like 614. So we're near the lows for Pepe here. Let me get into a different chart here. I think Binance might have more information here to look at. Pepe, let's see, Pepe on Binance, yeah. Okay, so I got more data here to look at. Yeah, Pepe, I mean, look at this. Pepe is at the same price that it was trading at back here in April 2024. Yikes. Talk about a round trip, huh? But the people that bought here in April 2024, they're giving you the support that you need to hopefully not click the sell button, because they're just at break even at this point. So that's where Pepe is hanging out at. You're near a support zone at 500 here. Let's see. Let me just pull up that VRVP, see what the VRVP has to show. Interesting enough, there's a little bit of a volume node here at 500, but the highest volume node was like right over, one of the highest volume nodes here was at like 700, and you lost that on Pepe. Like 700 was an area that you were at back here in March and April of 2025, back here in August of 2024, and April 2024, and you lost that level. And now you're kind of trying to hang on to like basically right over here, where people were buying at like 500 and 600 here. But if you lose that level, then it could be another nasty drop because there's not that much volume on the VRVP until you get to like maybe 300 on Pepe. So that's another like 40% drop from where we are right now. Let me just measure that out real quick. Okay, if we go down to 300, it's about a 40% drop. So that could be where it comes down to. And that, I think 300 was where we came down to on October 10th when we had that big drop in price. Yeah, we came down to, I'm trying to find this. Yeah, 279. Jesus. But that would be the next level. If you lose 500, you could come down to 300. And then if you lose 300, then there's another more volume here on Pepe at that blue line here, that point of control at 100. Yikes. Yikes. I hope that's not going to happen. But it's a possibility here. Okay. So those are your downside targets here for Pepe. Now, let's just using the VRVP here. What are the upside targets? Well, upside targets, can you get back up to 700? Which was supposed to be the support zone to hold for Pepe, but you lost it. And after you get past 700, the volume drops off on the VRVP, where you might get some resistance here at 1,000. 1,060 or somewhere in that area is where people were buying Pepe and selling it at. That's a level to be looking for on Pepe. And, you know, if it does do that, you could double your money from here. But, I mean, I put the stop loss real tight right now. I hope you're putting the stop loss real tight on Pepe. Because if not, I mean, this thing could drop down to 300 on you. So I probably put the stop loss below the lows of today. I mean, this thing got as low as 508. I probably put the stop loss at like 490. Real tight on Pepe. But if we get like a bounce this weekend, you know, you could benefit from Pepe going up. But if Pepe does go up, look at this. This 21 EMA, this white line has been acting as resistance. You need to get past this 21 EMA. You might get a bounce this weekend and Pepe only goes up to that white line again at 625 is where that white line's sitting at. And that might be all you get out of Pepe. And if you go from there to that white line, you're only going to get like a 22% increase, which could be a lot for a lot of people. It's still worth taking a trade, because what you can do is you can put your, you know, you could try to get up to that white line, that 21 EMA, and get a 22% gain, but then put your stop loss at like what we said, like 490, and you're only risking 3% to try and get 22%. It's still worth taking along if you're day trading this thing. But if you're in it for a swing trade, then you're kind of hoping that Pepe can come up to at least this green line here, that 50-day moving average sitting at 900. If it does that, then that's a 77% increase on Pepe, and you can still put your stop loss at like 490 and be risking like 3 or 4% to try and get that 77%. So that's what I would try to do here with Pepe if you're able to do it. I still think it's worth taking along, because you can put your stop loss really tight, and if you get stopped out, then you know there's something wrong with Pepe, and you probably don't want to find out how wrong it can be. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here on TikTok. Car Audio Man says, what is my advice on a person just starting to learn trading? If you're just starting to learn trading, then yeah, continue coming on to these live streams to learn as much as you can, so you can see the indicators that I'm using and try to learn the strategies that I use to trade. Try to get as much free education as you possibly can. You know, by showing up on these live streams, you're getting this education for free. I'm not charging you guys. Unless you want to do a one-on-one tutoring session where I can try to help you fine-tune your trades and your strategies here, and I can really show you what I'm looking for. I have done that in the past, where I've done tutoring, one-on-one sessions where, you know, we'll do a Zoom meeting. I can do a Zoom meeting call with you guys for like 1 hour, and I charge like $60 for the hour for a 1 hour session. And you could just Venmo or Zelle or PayPal me, and we could do a one hour class if you need to. learn as much as you can about trading here. But I do the trading and investing and the education pretty much for free on these live streams. All I ask is just you guys just hit that like button. You know, on YouTube here, all you gotta do is hit that like button. That helps me out. And then also on TikTok, if you just double tap the screen, that also helps me with the likes here on TikTok. But then once you actually start trading, I would not trade with your own money, especially if you're day trading and leverage trading. You gotta learn about leverage trading as much as you can, and learning about stop losses and take profits and taking partial profits and all that stuff. You gotta learn how to do that. And I would do that with fake money first. You can do that with a demo account, okay, where you're trading with just, you know, money that's not real. But if you're able to consistently make profits day trading or swing trading, then you might be ready to start trading for real and actually using your own money, okay? And then when you use your own money, I would say just start small, you know, don't go crazy. And you can start small with like $1,000 and you can still make like $100 or $200 a day just trading with $1,000 in your trading account. I've done it myself. You could even bump your account up to like 2,000 or 5,000 and you got more money to play around with. But depending upon how much you have in your trading account will depend on how much money you can possibly lose on a potential trade, and you know where you need to put your stop losses and how much leverage you're going to be using. So all of that I can teach it to you on a one-on-one trade, one-on-one session on Zoom. Or you could just continue watching the live streams as much as you can and ask me questions, and yeah, we can try to give you the education for free here, okay? But if you want to come and talk to me when I'm not on the live stream, there is a Meet Damien Discord, okay? And on the Meet Damien Discord, I show you when I go live. You can watch the live streams, rewatch them here on YouTube, where I post up the YouTube link. And then you can also see what trades I'm getting into. Like I was doing a Bitcoin long earlier this morning and last night because I saw the zones to hit. And of course, we share some funny memes here every now and then, and we talk about, you know, trades to get into and stuff like that. So if you want to come join the Meet Damien Discord channel, then the link should be in the bio for my TikTok here. You'll see the link right there, the Discord link. And if for some reason link doesn't work, just let me know and I can put up a new link. And then you can also message me here. Don't forget to follow me here on TikTok. But yeah, you can message me and say, hey Damien, can you send me the link for the Discord? And I can also send it to you by just messaging you it. Okay. And if my YouTube guys here, if you go into you know, the Meet Damien channel here, the link for the Discord, it should be in the description, right? Yeah, there it is. That Discord link right there. You can see, you can continue to chat with me and talk about trading and investing on the Meet Damien Discord. Okay. All right. Let's get back at it. We got to take a look at Jelly Jelly for a request here from Brown Mockin. All right, let's take a look at Jelly Jelly, and then after I look at Jelly Jelly, I'll get back in the chat again, see what you guys are saying. All right. So we're looking at Jelly Jelly, currently down 2.7%, trading at 7 cents right now. And wow, you know, Jelly Jelly got a lot of people's attention a few days ago when it went up to 58 cents. Okay, but you know, just like a lot of these altcoins, it has a spectacular run up and then it also has a spectacular correction. Okay, but it's nice to know that there is some life out there. There are people trading this thing. What can we make out of this with Jelly Jelly? So on the daily time frame, you are above the 200-day, 100-day, and the 50-day moving average. So this thing is still bullish. Even in the market where the rest of these cryptocurrencies are kind of being bearish right now, Jelly Jelly is still bullish, especially if you're above that 50-day moving average. I can be optimistically bullish if you were to come down to this 2-day moving average, this red line here at like 44 cents here, then I would start to be cautiously optimistic. But then I would start to worry if we actually lose the 200-day moving average. If we lose 0.043 pennies on this asset, first of all, if it drops down to that 200-day moving average, be ready to see about a 40% drop in your assets, in your holdings, okay? So if you can stomach that, hopefully it bounces off that 200-day moving average and gets back up to wherever you bought it at. But, you know, this thing could drop down to that 200-day moving average and still be bullish. It's not until you lose the 200-day moving average is when I start to worry, like I am worried about Bitcoin. If you lose this 200-day moving average, then I start to say you have to be bearish. Your bias has to be bearish, and you're probably going to be in a bear market if you lose that 200-day moving average. So that's something to keep in mind here, looking at the charts here for Jelly Jelly. But Jelly Jelly is above the 200, the 100, and the 50. So we are still bullish here, okay? So I don't think we have to worry about that just yet, okay? Now, okay, as I analyze this thing, where could Jelly Jelly go to higher prices if we are going to go to higher prices? Well, we do have a 21 EMA sitting above us at 10.5 cents. I think traders would take profit at that area. At least the day traders like myself would try to take a little bit of profit at 10.5 cents if we're in this asset. Okay. I kind of want to draw a Fibonacci, see what that does for us here. And let's see. Do I want to start at this swing low or this swing low? I think I'll start at this impulse candle here, okay? Where we're at like 5 cents here. That's where I'm going to measure the Fibonacci down to. So we got as high as what, 58 cents? Oh my god, yeah, that's pretty high up there. Okay. And I'm going to take this Fibonacci, we said down to like 5 cents, roughly around that area. So upside targets, if this thing is going to get bullish again on you, if you can get past this 21 EMA at 10.5 cents, then we're looking for the 0.236 retracement at 17 or 18 cents, this red line right here. That's why I'd be looking for a take profit target to the upside. Then you got another take profit target using the Fibonacci here at 0.382, and that's at 25 cents. Then you got another take profit at 0.5 at 32 cents. And then, you know, the golden pocket, this might be a level where we could get up to, but then, you know, we might come back down and make a lower high. And this is sitting at 38.40 cents. So there might be some room to the upside for Jelly Jelly. And if I was going to get into a long on this, okay, my stop loss, I don't want my stop loss to be too far down. I don't want my stop loss to be at that 200-day moving average, because that's a 40% drop. But if I did something more reasonable, like maybe this 50-day moving average, if I put the stop loss below that, okay, if this thing is going to be bullish, then it should stay above the 50-day moving average. And if we are able to do that, then, and I buy right now at this price of 7 cents, then I have to adjust the stop loss here to just below that 50-day moving average. We'll just say 5.5 cents here for the stop loss. And if I'm targeting that, if I'm targeting 17, 18 cents here, that 0.236, that's about 148% gain. And the stop loss is only down 23%. You don't have to do a leverage trade on this. If you're just spot bag trading this, then your long should give you a risk reward ratio about 6.2. And yeah, 148% gain just getting up to that 17 cent target there, 18 cent target. Now, if you're in it for a day trade, it might take a few days for you to get to 17 cents, and you don't even know if it is going to get to 17 cents. So for the day traders out there, you're probably targeting this white line, this 21 EMA at like 10.5 cents. And that's going to give you a, if you're not doing any leverage, you're going to go up 46% here. But the stop loss, look at this, the risk reward ratio is now 1.95. Usually you want a risk reward ratio about 3, and that gives you a worthwhile trade there. So that might not be worthwhile, but what you could do is you could adjust your stop loss. Instead of putting a stop loss all the way down to below the 50-day moving average, you could put your stop loss below the lows for today, where this thing was as low as like 6 cents, 0.062 pennies. So you just move the stop loss to 0.062 pennies. And now you got a pretty decent risk reward ratio, 3.5. You're only going to lose 13% on the stop loss, but you're risking 13% to try and get 46%. That's worth taking there, in my opinion. You don't even have to do leverage trading. But if you do leverage trading, you could just probably do like 2x leverage. So now your stop loss is, you're going to lose 26%, but your upside is going to be, 46 multiplied by 2. That's like a 90. I can't do the math right now. Was it about 92% gain, almost 100% gain if you just do 2x leverage? So that's what I would do there with Jelly. Big M, you're asking about, let's see, Big M is saying, so if you just want to close the buy, do you have to wait until you reach your target, or you could just sell? So if you're day trading or leverage trading, you can close out your long whenever you want. You can close out your long, or if you're shorting, you can close out your short whenever you want. And you can also take partial profit. You can, instead of like selling, instead of selling all of your position, you could sell half your position, or maybe 25. Where'd my chart go? Where'd my data go? All right, there we go. Okay. So something that you could do here is, like, if you're in this jelly trade here and you're trying to target 10.5 cents, if this thing starts playing out and you get up to like maybe 9 cents, you might take a little bit of profit there. Okay, take like 25 or 50% of your trade off the table, and you just paid yourself. And then what you can do next, right? Let me just draw this out here. Okay. So let's just game plan this out. Like, if this thing starts moving in the direction that you want it to, you're making some money, but you haven't hit your take profit target yet, you can take partial profit. You can take like 20, 30, maybe 50% off. And then if this thing does drop down, right, it comes back to your entry. Well, what you can do then is move the stop loss to break even. So you already paid yourself. But if this thing does come down to where you entered and you actually get stopped out, well, you didn't lose any money. Matter of fact, you actually made money because you took partial profit. And if you do get stopped out, you get stopped out, whatever. Okay, you could try to get back in again. All right, maybe put the stop loss a little bit lower and try to do the trade again. But if you don't get stopped out and this thing actually continues on, doing its thing here, you don't get stopped out and you come back up, maybe you hit that take profit target and you still make money. So you made money by taking profit over here, and then the thing came down, made a higher low, and then you make money again when you get your take profit target gets hit. Okay, so that's a good way to manage a trade, in my opinion. If you're in a long, that's what you should be looking for. You should be trying to pay yourself partial profits and then move the stop loss to break even so you don't lose any money, and then you're in the trade for free. You already made money, and if it goes up and hits your take profit target, you're making even more money. You can just pat yourself on the back if it's able to do that for you. All right, RP has joined the chat. Thank you for joining. And Brown Mockin says, great analysis. Thank you for liking liking the analysis and giving me that comment. All right, let's see. Macro 777 gave me a heart me. Thank you, Macro 77. Mr. Wizard says 25% XRP, Doge, CDA, and Solana. All right, let me see. You said some stuff here. All right, Mr. Wizard started following me here on TikTok. Thank you. And you said long-term holder. You went from being positive up about 20% to down 20%. I know that sucks. And you said you have 25%. I'm assuming your portfolio is 25% is in Bitcoin, and another 25% is in Ethereum, and then another 25% is in XRP, Doge, and Solana. Okay, that seems to be a good diversification of the high market cap crypto coins. And I don't think you really need to get into any other crypto coins unless you feel comfortable trading the other coins here. But just being in the high market crypto coins is good enough, because you're gonna get the volatility that you need to try to see some pretty sick gains. But I think as traders, investors, we have to work on trying to manage our losses too. And we're all saying in the last couple of weeks, couple of months here with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, losses are possible. They are possible here. And you got to manage your stop losses and figure out where to put your stop losses at. We just did like a kind of like a day trade analysis on Jelly Jelly. But if I was spot trading Jelly Jelly, if I decided to get into Jelly Jelly and not do any leverage trading, I would probably put the stop loss below the 200-day moving average. If it goes below the 200-day moving average, then I know there's something clearly wrong with Jelly Jelly, and I don't want to stick around to find out. But you know, right now, you know, if it does go down to that 200-day moving average, that's about a 40% drop. So I don't know if I really want to stomach that. Which is why I would not put a lot of money into Jelly Jelly, because, you know, if you put a lot of money into Jelly Jelly right now, you could lose 40% of it if it gets down to that 200-day moving average. Okay, and I don't think a lot of people have that risk tolerance where they're willing to lose 40% and not panic. So something like Bitcoin would probably be a better bet, where, you know, could Bitcoin drop 40% from where it is? You know, at $100,000 Bitcoin, or what? Now we're at 95K Bitcoin. Yeah, it could. But it's going to take some time for it to get down there. And hopefully, you know, you're able to get out before it goes down to like, you know, $50,000 or whatever for that 40% drop. Something like Jelly Jelly. Jelly Jelly could drop 40% tomorrow. You know, so Bitcoin, I think, is good for a lot of investors that are getting involved in Bitcoin or crypto for the first time. Once you understand how the market moves, then you can start trying other coins like Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. Yeah. Ozzy, the crypto goat, is in the live stream. How you doing, Ozzy? Thank you for liking the live here. Thank you for coming on. Ozzy, do you want me to show people your YouTube channel or your TikTok? Because I want to show people your channel. Just let me know which one you want me to show. Want me to show your YouTube? Okay, so do you still go by Ozzy the Crypto Goat on YouTube, or is it like something else? Let me see. Guys, we have another crypto guy, another YouTuber. He was big on TikTok, but he's just now getting his YouTube channel up and running here. Although he's got about 200 videos already up on YouTube. Guys, you gotta check out Ozzy the Crypto Goat here when you get a chance. He's got some good TA and analysis here. He's been doing some videos about conspiracy theories though, with this other girl and his on his live streams. So if you're into like ghost stories or haunted houses or anything like that, this might be another channel worth taking a look at here. They talked about the moon landing, if it's a hoax or whatever. They talked about the Annabelle doll, okay? But also he does crypto. I'm not sure, Ozzy, are you still talking about crypto, or are you getting into more of the conspiracy theory stuff? You just gotta let me know. Are you still trying to do both, or are you doing one or the other? And guys, we hit 10,000 likes here on the live stream. I appreciate you guys hitting the like button there. Feel like we're having a better live stream. People feeling a little bit better because Bitcoin is not dropping like a rock like it did yesterday. Oh, you're bringing the crypto show back today here, Ozzy. Okay, that's good to know. And I think we got another request here. Do I mind taking a look at J&J and tell me what my thoughts are on it? I think that's what, Johnson & Johnson? That's a stock, right? Okay, we can take a look at Johnson & Johnson. I talk about crypto, but I can talk about stocks as well and use the technical analysis to analyze your stocks here. Appreciate the request. Thank you for that. This is the first stock of the day. We're now looking at Johnson & Johnson, trading at $196. This is a nice looking chart here. This is a very bullish chart. And it's very bullish because I'm just looking at the moving averages on the daily time frame, and you're above the 200, the 100, and the 50-day moving average, and you're also above the 21 EMA. So this thing is very bullish, in my opinion. But, I got to still analyze this a little bit more to figure out, are we due for a drop here? And if we do drop, how much of a drop could it be? How much of a correction could it be? But guys, this is a very good looking chart here. This is a winning trade, a winning investment. Johnson & Johnson. Everybody knows Johnson & Johnson, right? Everybody uses Johnson & Johnson when they go to like, the drugstore, the pharmacy. They got all those over-the-counter products and stuff like that. Anyways, Johnson & Johnson, trading at $196.16. What do I want to do the Fibonacci from? I want to do a Fibonacci analysis on this one. I'm going to measure down to like where this area was at, like $175, and see what Fibonacci has to say about Johnson & Johnson here. So if we take the measure move here of the highs here of 196 down to $173, we've got a Fibonacci to look at here now. If Johnson & Johnson gets a correction from where it is right now, I would expect it to come down to this 21 EMA at $190, which is confluent with that golden pocket number at $188. Okay, so we could drop down to like 190, which, I mean, it's not that far off from where we are right now. Okay, but a steeper correction in Johnson & Johnson could take you down to possibly the 50-day moving average, which is sitting at $176. And you also got the 0.236 Fibonacci deep retracement at $178. So I would be looking for this level for a correction on Johnson & Johnson. Try to scoop up some cheaper shares in this area if you're able to. And you'd be basically buying at the same price that people were buying here in early September, late August, when it was at that level. Okay. If Johnson & Johnson continues going up to higher prices, though, and doesn't actually get that correction, then we have a level to look for above us at the 1272 at $202. That'd be a very easy take profit target to take. We're not too far from hitting that as well. That's only like $8 away. But probably a more lucrative take profit target would be this 1618 at $210. That could be an area where Johnson & Johnson goes next if it continues being bullish here. Now, let me measure the health of Johnson & Johnson. Let's look at the oscillators on the daily time frame. RSI is at 69.7. That's close to being overbought. All right, so it's not overbought, so it could go to higher prices before it becomes overbought. So that's okay to see. You can see that back here, the RSI was overbought here towards the beginning of October when we were in the 70s. And then, of course, you got that correction here. And then the RSI dropped down, reset, and now you're able to go up to higher prices again on Johnson & Johnson. MACD, obviously we had selling pressure end of October, beginning of November, but now you're getting some green candles showing up here on the MACD, so that's good to see. Looking pretty healthy to me. And then here on the Market Cipher B, money flow, you gotta pay attention to money flow, was in the red during the beginning of November here, but now you're getting into the green here on Market Cipher B, and you're not in overbought territory, which you would be if you hit, these red bars here. That's overbought, and you can see that Johnson & Johnson was overbought here in the middle of October, early October here. You got the top signals here on the Market Cipher B showing that momentum was coming down, money flow was coming down. It came down, then it started curving back up again. And then you got that green buy dot saying, yeah, you can still be bullish here on Johnson & Johnson and climb up to higher prices here. So, going back to what this looks like on the charts, let me just move this indicator up here. And I'll just collapse you. But you can see here that, this Market Cipher B indicator is pretty useful to use. Kind of gives you the ebbs and flows of the market here. And it was trying to warn you on like October 10th that you should probably get out of Johnson & Johnson. Now the thing did climb back up, and that's where you got that green buy dot here, and then another red sell dot. But after that second red sell dot, that was like trying to warn you to get out of Johnson & Johnson at like $193. And had you done that, you would have avoided, this drop where we went down to like $184 here. Okay. And then, of course, once you start seeing the red here, you get the green buy dot. It was telling you to buy Johnson & Johnson on November 10th. And had you done that, you could have bought it as low as $185. But this thing closed at $188. And you got that follow through here. Usually when you get a green buy dot, you see some, especially on a daily time frame, you're probably going to get a few good days ahead of you. And you did. And now Johnson & Johnson's at $196 here. Adonis says BTC long or short. And then Aussie Crypto says 618. Okay. And then Aussie says LMT, is that a stock or a crypto? And you said thank you later. Okay. All right. Let's see. Bitcoin long or short? I think you could try to long Bitcoin right now. Are you day trading it? Is that why you're asking about longing and shorting Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin is at an area that I scooped it up earlier today at like 94,500, because that was an area that I was looking for. You know, we were looking for 94,000 on the Fibonacci here, but also on the VRVP indicator, we were looking at that high volume node here at like 96K and 94K. So I was looking, I bought Bitcoin last night at 96K and got stopped out in profit at 96,500 before we dropped down again. And I bought Bitcoin again at 94,500 this morning, and I sold it at 97K. So I've already made my long trades for Bitcoin this morning and last night. I still think Bitcoin, if it's gonna, you know, respect the TA here, it should get a lot of support between 94 and 96K, and then you're looking to see if Bitcoin can get past this gap in the VRVP and try to get up to that 100K area where you got that 0.5 retracement. I think 100K, you can long Bitcoin at 96K, put your stop loss wherever you need it to be, and then try to see if you can ride this thing up to 100K here on Bitcoin. I would try to long Bitcoin, not short it right now. If Bitcoin starts losing, you know, 93, 92K, then I would start thinking about shorting Bitcoin. And if you short Bitcoin, if Bitcoin loses 93K, 92K, then you got a gap in the VRVP and you could take profit on your short at 88K. That's how I would do it if I was trying to short Bitcoin. But I don't think right now is a good time to short Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know. You can probably try to short it right now and take it down to 88K. But I think we have to lose the support at 93K to signify that we have a pretty good winning short, you know, to take us down to 88K. Because we got a lot of support between 93K and 96K. There's a lot of support here for Bitcoin. All right, let's see. Namir Youssef has followed me here on TikTok. Thank you for following me here. And Ozzy says something about LMT. He's like being oh, Lockheed Martin. Is that what you're talking about? Or is there a LMT crypto? There is an LMT crypto here, Limitus. But I think Ozzy was talking about Lockheed Martin probably because there's probably going to be some stuff going down in Venezuela, and you still got the problem in Ukraine and Russia. So Lockheed Martin, let's see what Lockheed Martin's doing. Lockheed Martin's currently trading at $462, up 1.5% today. I got the VRVP indicator here going for Lockheed Martin. I think it's still useful to have here. Lockheed Martin's actually at the point of control. That POC is at 462. And we had this drop here on Lockheed Martin. If Lockheed Martin's going to maintain support here, this thing could ride itself back up. You know, high volume node here at 486. And then another high volume node here at the value area high at 498. Those are the targets I'd be looking to the upside for Lockheed Martin. 486 and 498. But if Lockheed Martin is going to go down, I'm not sure. He didn't really say if it's going to be a long or a short on Lockheed Martin. But if Lockheed Martin loses the point of control and the 200-day moving average, 200-day moving average is at 463. But if we lose this area that we're at right now, then it could be another significant drop down. There might be some support at 441. But there's even more support here at the value area low at 428. So let's see. Lockheed Martin had a good earnings report recently too. They reported earnings of $695. They were expected to $638, so that's an upside of about 8.8%. The revenue was expected to be $18.5 billion, and they came in at $18.6 billion. So as expected on the revenue. So decent earnings report. But I guess stock market likes to look forward to like what the future orders and future revenue might be for Lockheed Martin. And if war breaks out with Venezuela and Ukraine and Russia continues to deteriorate and another situation somewhere else in the world pops up, then this stock could probably go up to higher prices with the military spending more money on their equipment here. All right, next earnings report for Lockheed Martin. It's coming in on Tuesday, January 27th of 2026. And they're expected to make a little bit more money on their revenue, and earnings supposed to be at $6.65 per share, which would be a little bit below than what they made this past quarter here, but I don't know, maybe they might be able to beat that. All right, let's see. Seems like things are kind of dying down here. I don't have any requests here. See, Donna has joined. Hello, Donna. How you doing? And MOB has followed me here on TikTok. Thank you for following me here, MOB. All right. Man, let's see. I don't know. I think I might end the live stream right now, to be honest. We've been live for about almost an hour and a half right now. And I already did my analysis here on Bitcoin. Zcash is doing pretty well today. So is Dash. Those are catching some bids. They were doing well past couple of weeks too. Gold and silver are actually going down. Seems like the market's all over the place right now. How is S&P 500 and Dow Jones doing? S&P 500 is up slightly. NASDAQ is up slightly. Dow Jones is actually going down. That's interesting. Oh no, what happened to my music? I gotta restart my music, I guess. Alright. But yeah, if I don't have any more requests, I'll probably just end the live stream. I got some stuff I need to do this afternoon. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you coming in, hitting that like button, and following and subscribing here. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel here, you can follow me here on TikTok, where you can come join the 5,570 followers that I have here on TikTok. Trying to get this up hopefully to 10,000 maybe one day. And then here on YouTube, you can find me on the Meet Damien channel here. Come join the 500 subscribers here on YouTube. I'm trying to get that up to 1,000 here, maybe one day. And you can see where when I go live, and you can also see some of the videos that I posted up here. I also do YouTube Shorts, so if you don't got that much time, you can see what trades I see and where I think some assets might go. And you guys can also request trades on the Meet Damien Discord. Meet Damien Discord channel. Link is in the description to the video, and in the link should be in the bio for my TikTok. And you can see, like, you can just stay in touch with me here, talk about some trades, share some memes, see what kind of trades we're getting into, where we might think Bitcoin might go next. You can see, how I'm doing in some of my trades here, and just continue learning and investing. All right, and then also you'll see when I go live, and you can watch the the replay to this live stream on YouTube, where I post up the link here on the Discord channel here. But yeah, you can also find me. Just type in Meet Damien You should be able to find me on TikTok. I mean, YouTube as well. Yeah, there I am. Meet Damien YouTube, and you can watch the replay. So if you came in, you missed it, you missed the analysis here on TikTok, you can find it here on YouTube. Okay. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Appreciate you coming into the live stream, and we'll just have to take it one day at a time here. I think Bitcoin could climb up to 100K this weekend. If we're not able to hold 94K, 93K, then Bitcoin might head down to 88K. Okay, but one day at a time. I think with Wall Street not being open during the weekend, there's a little bit of hope that we could get a rally, a relief rally this weekend. As long as retail traders don't panic, we might see higher prices here for Bitcoin. Okay, but we shall see. We shall see. Anyways, I'll go live again, same time, around 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. Be on the lookout for my next live stream. Take care, guys, and good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you get into.